Hey guys, I'm having a Kundalini awakening and you may be too. Hello my babies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leora Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. I believe that this is going to be posted on Saturday, on Starseed Saturday, because it's all connected. It all goes hands in hand. So let me tell you what's been going on. The past few Starseed Saturdays, I kind of told you guys about the first sort of experiences that I experienced, starting with the alien visitation. I talked to you a little bit about rhythmia, how that kind of stripped me of all the barriers and all the stuff that was going on. But now, months later, months after that alien visitation, I have context on what's going on with me. Finally. Now this is very, very recent. I only very recently started to understand and know what it's called, what's happening to me. And like I said, this Starseed Saturday series, it's going to be my experiences more than teaching about it. So what I've been doing is I haven't been consuming research or other people's experiences. I haven't been watching other YouTubers talking about Kundalini energy. I haven't gotten any books about Kundalini energy. I haven't gotten anything that could possibly shape my own experience. And that's because it's very important for me to document everything that's happening to me. I feel like if I had my experience shaped by other people, other than the people that I talk to, my friends and stuff, who I have like Bridget Nielsen and Melanie from Ask Angels, who both experienced this. Victor Odo experienced this. Aaron experienced it in his own way. Other than kind of discussing it with them and basically just telling them what's happening with me and having them just tell me everything's okay, everything's all right, and they don't give me much more information other than that, I haven't looked into this. And that's because I want this to be a pure documentation of my experience with the awakening. Now, what I'm understanding from all the messages I'm getting psychically, I guess, all the synchronicities, all the things that are happening, is that Kundalini energy is this energy that's connected to the chakras. And it goes up the chakras. It goes up the spine. It's a serpent energy that goes up the spine. There are, from my basic understanding, 3 stages of activation. Now, the Kundalini energy is the same thing as the divine Ka energy that some Pleiadian books talk about. It's also the same thing as ascension symptoms and ascension energy, and is the same thing as a third eye awakening, pineal gland awakening. It's all basically the same thing. It all goes hand in hand. There isn't really much difference. Now, I know that there is Kundalini yoga. From what I'm understanding, Kundalini yoga, I don't know if it's supposed to help people who are experiencing this Kundalini awakening, or maybe it's supposed to start the Kundalini awakening for some people. But what I'm understanding, I keep saying what I'm understanding because I can't confirm or deny anything. This is all my own experience. What I'm understanding is that the Kundalini energy spontaneously puts you into different yoga positions. So this Kundalini yoga takes these spontaneous yoga positions and created like a practice out of them. So I haven't taken any Kundalini yoga. However, what I did do is take 2 or 3 Kundalini meditation classes. And that's very synchronistic because I had, at the end of December, I had such a sign to join this one meditation place here in Los Angeles. I never considered doing anything like this before. This place is right next to where I live. I've never seen it before. The day I saw it, somebody posted it on their Instagram story, never posted it before. So it was synchronistic and I was like, yes, this has to be a sign. Then I started taking the classes there and I started taking a Kundalini breathwork class that made me feel absolutely incredible. Sometimes it made me cry, but ultimately I just felt drawn to take this class. Not really putting any weight on the word Kundalini or even looking into what the hell it means. Now, what I've been concerned about is how to document this experience, and I think that a lot of creators and a lot of YouTubers or bloggers and stuff could understand what I mean by I'm experiencing this thing. This is my real life. Every day is a part of the journey. It's been difficult. It's been mind-blowing. It's been absolutely wild. It's been a wild, wild ride. And in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking is, how do I document this for YouTube? And that's not the right way to do it. It's not. I don't need to be thinking about everybody else. I need to be experiencing this all on my own for myself. However, I do need a way to document it. So just recently, almost 3 months, 2 months since the activation began, I was in meditation 2 days ago, and I had an idea. And this idea came out of nowhere. So I know that it's connected to my higher self or my spirit guides. Somebody gave me an answer because I had 2 questions. How do I document this? And how long is this going to last? How long? Where is this? Everyone keeps telling me, Erin keeps saying, trust the process. How long is the process? What kind of process is it? How do I know that it's a process? This seems just like a wild journey. So suddenly I'm in meditation at the den and I get this idea. Create a timeline. What? Where did this idea come from? Never considered doing this for anything before. The way I journal is I just write out my thoughts. But this was, I saw it in my mind. Create a timeline of every event starting rhythmia that led up to today. So that way I can remember the abductions. I can remember the good nights, the bad nights. So I've basically come up with 3 ways to track my awakening, my Kundalini rising. And I want to give you guys this idea if you're going through it yourself. Now, I thought that I would have months to relay this information. I thought that, what I'm going through is going to entertain people because it's entertaining to hear people are going through this crazy spiritual stuff that's actually real, that the mainstream world will never speak about. But I didn't realize that it's going to actually be needed. Suddenly I'm getting messages with people who are feeling and experiencing the same things that I am. The things I had no words for, other people are messaging me with the words, explaining the emotions they're feeling. Not being able to sleep for 2 months, over 2 months, almost 4 months actually. Having poor sleep unless I'm sleeping with somebody else, with my mom or with Erin or with one of my best friends. That's Kundalini rising, Kundalini energy. Everything I've been experiencing goes back to the Kundalini awakening. You might be asking, what is a Kundalini awakening? I'm sorry, but I don't have the answer for you because I have not looked into it. I'm experiencing it, and then eventually, maybe after this video, I'll start looking into it and then I can teach it. But I don't want my experience marred by anybody else's information or experience, and I hope you guys could see where I'm coming from with this. I want it to be very authentic, very real. Throughout this process, I've been experiencing intense fear that I'm actually genuinely losing my mind. If you felt this way, I have good news. I've talked to several people who went through it by themselves years ago, and they're completely normal, completely sane, super high vibrational, happy people. They're not airy, they're very tethered to the ground, they're grounded, and they made it. They made it out of this process. So seeing these people and interacting with them and going to Sedona was kind of like I needed to see that there are people out there who have made it to the other side of the awakening and feel good again, feel normal. I saw these people, I interacted with them, and I was like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. As far as I can tell, I'm having this awakening. I didn't know there was a word for it. I explained the experience to people like Victor Odo, to a lot of different people, and they're all like, yeah, it's a Kundalini awakening. So I'm going to talk about this a lot in a lot of different videos. But first, in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how you can track your own spiritual journey. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an awakening process, but if you are awakening, and seeing as I'm getting so many messages about the same symptoms that I'm feeling, I feel like a lot of us are going through the process together. There's an activation there where I'm going through this, and my videos are sending out an energy. People in my life, my mom is waking up, people are being reactivated who were activated in the past. This energy is contagious. So it's happening to more and more of us. If it's just starting for you, I highly encourage you start tracking it in the way that I'm about to tell you how to track it. I wish that I had started in the beginning, but of course this idea only recently came to me. Thankfully, I've had my mom and Aaron and a lot of my friends throughout the way. I kept a video diary some of the times, so I do have a lot of memory of what has been happening. I got this beautiful journal from one of my beautiful subscribers, and it came like a perfect time. It's huge and blank, so it's perfect for tracking this whole spiritual awakening. I'm trying to show it to you. Blank. If you guys have any advice on other ways to track this stuff, I highly recommend doing that. And then I'm going to explain why I had to do this, okay? Because there was a reason for this. Other than just remembering it so that I can relay it to you, I had to track it so that I could finally find the pattern and have my other question answered. What do you mean this is a process? How long is it going to take? What's happening? So there are 3 things that you should be doing to track your journey. And if you guys have any other ideas, please comment them below. But this is what I found to be the most necessary. First of all, a timeline. A timeline that outlines with the date every significant event that you've experienced in the awakening journey. So one day in a video, I will read to you every single part of this and explain it. But for now, let me just give you examples of things that you should be keeping track of. So in November 2018, where I start this, I wrote Rhythmia. December 2018 was my twin flame union, Aaron and I. On the 3rd of January was my first being experience, which is what I explained in the first Starseed Saturday, which I think was a Pleiadian visitation. On the 6th was a sacred surgery. The 7th was the alien visitation. The 9th was when Aaron, if you guys listen to the podcast, you know a little bit about this. It was when Aaron came to LA for one night, and when he slept here for the first time ever, and we together experienced activation symptoms all night long. We were in and out of dimensions all night long, asleep, but not really. And suddenly I was feeling this energy in between my shoulder blades. And this is documented in a video diary. I have all the documentation. I really was trying to document this for you guys. And for myself, of course. This energy between my shoulder blades, it's uncomfortable. It's kind of where your wings would be. All night long, I'm seeing things. I'm experiencing things. My body feels so weird. My body, it's ascension symptoms. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about the first activation, which I found out is what it was later on. We'll talk about the second, and we'll talk about the third. On the 26th, I experienced my first genuine channeling where some being spoke out of me. A benevolent being, don't worry. On the 8th of February, I experienced a tonality releasing, something with my throat, some healing process. Anyways, it's all these different things. On the 28th of February, I started to surrender to the idea of the Kundalini because Victor Odo sent me a message with Aaron that I just need to surrender to it. I need to stop resisting it and fighting it. I noticed a direct pattern with when I was resisting it to my face breaking out, and when I accepted and surrendered to my face clearing up, except for this one little guy, but clearing up. When you accept Kundalini energy, it starts to feel like bliss. When you resist it, it's the most terrifying thing you could ever possibly go through. Anyways, I experienced all this stuff, all this ego stuff, healing. I will go into detail with all this stuff if you're interested, but I have everything written up until last night. So that's the first thing you should do, a timeline. Now, when I did this timeline, I discovered something. I identified when the first activation, like I told you, there's 3 activations. I identified when there was the first activation, I identified the second, and I identified the beginning of the third. What did I find out? It happens every single month. So 1/9/19, first activation. 2/8/19, second activation. 3/7/19, beginning of the third activation. I don't think I completed it, but it was a very intense process. So I think that the third one, that's the pineal gland, my third eye is opening. Suddenly I have all this desire to look into third eye and pineal gland. I just posted a video on Instagram about the pineal gland and intuition and energy. I'm starting to understand things without having any context from anybody else. I began to understand that the third eye is our sixth sense. It's connected to the pineal gland. That's what rules the third eye. And it's our ability to sense energy. And that's what is being activated by the Kundalini energy. It is my ability to sense higher frequency beings and entities who are made of other energy. That's why I can't sleep at night, because I feel them around me. I feel a presence when it comes to the edge of my bed. And that's what a third eye awakening is. Don't worry, all throughout this process, I've also discovered how to make sure that you're protected, that no negative being comes to you, no negative entity comes to you. This is covered briefly in my sleep paralysis video, which if you haven't watched yet, I will link below. The power is ultimately in our hands. I've definitely learned that. So that's the first way to track it. The second way to track it is I'm keeping kind of like, it's also another timeline, but it's basically a sleep tracker. So I only started doing it for the past 2 nights. I'm tracking when I have sound sleep, when I'm having energy, ascension symptoms, whatever they are, when I'm having absolutely no sleep, when I'm being visited, when I feel it, or just when something weird happens. So on the 11th, a couple of days ago when I'm recording this, something weird happened. This was this ego death stuff. I'll go into the ego death very soon because that's a lot. Last night, sound sleep. That's also because I was on FaceTime with Aaron the entire time. He just kept my FaceTime on in case I needed him. So I was able to sleep soundly. I'm going to track my sleep every night and I'm going to see if there's a pattern. It's very important to recognize patterns. And the last thing that you should be doing, tracking your awakening experience, is keeping a daily log of what's going on with you. How you're feeling at night. Just writing out how you feel. And then if you could also, kind of like the sleep tracker, track your moods. That's the fourth thing I'm gonna do. I just got that inspiration right now. I'm gonna track my moods too. Because every day, some days are fully productive, creative, and blissful. And some days are so low that I've never experienced such a low before. But I always remember, and I always talk to my friends and my family, and they're like, it's a process. It's gonna go back up until it evens out and balances, until it's all out of you, until that dormant serpent energy is up and out. So now I'm gonna add that emotion, well-being tracker. Just like the sleep tracker, I'm gonna put the date. So today is the 12th. Today I was super cheerful and productive. And that's enough. You can just write a couple of words to sum up your mood for the day, just to find the patterns. It's going to give you awareness and kind of check you back in to remind you that it is a process. So do the timeline, do the sleep tracker, do the emotion and well-being tracker, and also keep a log just of things that are happening in the day. Yesterday I wrote, today I feel insane. Today some bad stuff. Today I still went to yoga and meditation. I still worked all day. I had the download to create a timeline, close my blinds, work out, and eat healthy. I feel uncomfortable in my body. I'm on the brink of tears all day. I have fully accepted this process today. I just wish I knew the benefits of doing that. Today I've accepted that ego death is part of the process. This has all been so synchronistic. Today I saw my guides. I'm basically just writing things that I'm going through. So this is so that you're not like a leaf being blown in the wind and you're on top of everything. You have willpower. You are documenting this process and you're experiencing it too. Don't become obsessive about documenting it. Just do it if it feels right. If it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Just experience it. This just makes it easier for somebody who, like me, who's in general a control freak. I feel like everything really needs to be under my control. And this is something that I just simply cannot control. So this is my way of being able to do that. And it might just give you clarity. I think finding the patterns is really important. So that's it for this week's Starseed Saturday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helped you in some way. If you're not going through a spiritual awakening, just use this kind of tracking to track your spiritual journey, to track insights, to track messages you're getting, self-development, you know, who you're becoming as a person. It's always good to find patterns. Thank you guys for listening to my insane Kundalini ranting. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for understanding. Now I'm exhausted. I recorded 4 videos today. I'm telling you, one day it's like creative, on my game, and another day it's like I want to be in bed all day. And that's all the Kundalini awakening, and it is okay. I'm telling you right now, it's okay. It's part of the process. Anyways, until my next video, I love you so much, and keep your vibrations way, way, way up.